Ma'am, stop right there. Don't move.
Excuse me, this is my house. Who are you?
Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We need you to come with us for questioning.
I'm Congresswoman Ela Harris. You're in my driveway. Do you have a warrant?
We don't need one. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Ma'am.
Don't say another word. Turn around now. The cuffs snap shut before she can even finish her sentence. It's early morning, right outside her own home. Congresswoman Elena Brooks stands barefoot on her driveway, keys still in hand, surrounded by armed ICE agents and every neighbor watching. "I'm a sitting member of Congress," she says, steady but firm. "You have no authority to detain me like this." But Agent Daniel Hargrove doesn't hesitate. No warrant, no explanation, just force, just humiliation on her own property. A phone camera zooms in. "Wait, she just identified herself," someone whispers. Another agent steps closer to Hargrove, low voice, tense. "Sir, that's her. That's actually her." Hargrove doesn't let go. Instead, he tightens the cuffs and quietly says something no one was supposed to hear. "Yeah, and I know exactly who she is." Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. A ripple moves through the small crowd gathering at the edge of the street. Neighbors, delivery drivers, a man across the road still in his robe, everyone trying to make sense of what they're seeing. Because nothing about this looks normal. Not the way Congresswoman Elena Brooks is standing there, shoulders pulled back, even with her hands locked behind her. Not the way Agent Hargrove avoids eye contact with the other officers. And definitely not the way no one is producing a warrant. "Elena, what's going on?" A woman from next door calls out, voice shaking. Brooks turns her head slightly, calm but firm. "Call my office, now." Hargrove steps in front of her, blocking the line of sight. "No outside communication," he says flatly. That's when it clicks for a few people watching. This isn't just aggressive, it's controlled, deliberate. Brooks exhales slowly, steadying herself. She spent years questioning agencies like this, sitting across from officials who swore procedures were always followed, and now she's living the exact opposite. "You're making a serious mistake," she says, louder this time. "You don't have legal grounds to detain me. Identify your authority." Hargrove doesn't answer. Instead, he nods to the other agents. "Move her." One agent hesitates, just for a second. "Sir, we should verify." "Move her," Hargrove repeats, sharper now. The hesitation disappears. They guide Brooks toward the SUV, not roughly, but not gently either. Controlled force. Enough to make a point. Her coffee cup is still on the ground, and slowly spilling into the cracks of the driveway. A small, almost insignificant detail. But the cameras catch everything. As the rear door of the SUV opens, Brooks stops just short of stepping in. "If you do this," she says quietly, locking eyes with Hargrove, "you're going to have to explain it." For the first time, he leans in close enough that only she and the nearest camera can catch it. His voice drops, cold, certain. "I already did." And with that, he pushes her inside the vehicle. Just as a second phone video captures something no one noticed before, a look on his face that doesn't match a mistake. It looks like intent. By the time the SUV turns the corner, the video is already spreading. Not hours later, not even minutes. Immediately. A teenager across the street uploads the clip before the dust from the tires settles. And within seconds, comments start flooding in. "Did she say she's a congresswoman? Why aren't they showing a warrant? Something's off." Inside the vehicle, Elena Brooks sits upright, wrists still restrained, eyes fixed forward. She doesn't speak right away. She's listening, to the silence, to the tension, to the way no one inside the SUV is willing to meet her gaze. Finally, she breaks it. "Who authorized this?" No answer. She shifts slightly, the cuffs pressing against her wrists. "You're operating outside your jurisdiction. You know that." Still nothing, except for one thing. In the front seat, Agent Ruiz glances at Hargrove. Just a quick look, but it says enough. Doubt. Back at the neighborhood, more footage surfaces. A second angle, clearer audio. It captures everything, her identifying herself, her asking for a warrant. Hargrove saying nothing. By midday, news stations pick it up. Developing story. Congresswoman detained outside her home under unclear circumstances. Clips replay on loop. Analysts begin questioning what they're seeing, because it doesn't follow procedure, not even close. Inside a secure ICE facility, Brooks is escorted down a narrow hallway. The environment is familiar, but the position she's in isn't. She's not here to observe. She's here in cuffs. Processing room, an agent mutters, opening a door. Brooks stops just before stepping inside. "I want your names," she says calmly. The agent avoids her eyes. "Ma'am, just step in." Her voice sharpens, not louder but firmer. "Every one of you will be identified. This doesn't disappear." Behind her, Ruiz hesitates again. Hargrove notices. "Problem?" he asks quietly. Ruiz swallows. "Sir, we didn't confirm." Hargrove cuts him off with a look. Cold. Final. "Write what you saw," he says. Ruiz doesn't respond, because what he saw isn't what Hargrove is about to write. And that's when the first real crack forms, not outside, but inside the team itself. By the next morning, it's no longer just a viral clip. It's a national story. Every major network is running the footage, slowed down, zoomed in, analyzed frame by frame. "You can clearly hear her identify herself," one legal analyst says. "And there's no visible warrant. That's a serious problem." Public pressure builds fast. Outside the ICE facility, a small crowd gathers. Reporters, activists, even local officials demanding answers. Inside, the atmosphere shifts. Supervisors who were silent the day before are now asking questions. Say sharp ones. Hargrove sits across from them, posture rigid, voice controlled. "She resisted identification," he repeats. "I followed procedure." But the words don't land the same anymore, because across the table someone slides a printed still image. Brooks, calm, composed, clearly speaking, not resisting, explaining. The room goes quiet. Meanwhile, something else surfaces, not from the agency, from inside it, an anonymous leak. Internal logs tied to Hargrove's unit. At first glance, it looks routine. Timestamps, system access, location pings. But one entry stands out. Brooks's home address, flagged. Hours before the arrest. No warrant attached. No active investigation linked. Just flagged. The implication spreads faster than the video ever did. This wasn't random. Back in the facility, Agent Ruiz is called in. But he sits down, hands clasped, eyes flicking between supervisors. "What happened out there?" one of them asks. Ruiz hesitates, just for a second, then exhales. "She told him who she was," he says. "Multiple times." A pause. "And there was no resistance." That statement lands heavier than anything else so far, because now it's not just public outrage, it's internal contradiction. And for the first time, Hargrove's version of events isn't just questioned, it's breaking. Outside, cameras flash as Brooks finally steps forward after her release, facing a wall of microphones. She doesn't raise her voice, doesn't rush her words. She just says one sentence. "I believe I was targeted." And just like that, this isn't an incident anymore. It's an accusation. And someone inside that agency knows exactly why. The pressure doesn't ease, it tightens. Within days, more footage surfaces. Not from the street this time. From a doorbell camera directly across from Brooks's driveway. Clear angle, clean audio, no obstruction, no confusion. Just Elena Brooks, standing still, identifying herself. Once, then again. And Hargrove, saying nothing. Watching it back inside the agency, no one speaks. Because this version removes any doubt. No resistance, no threat, just a decision, a deliberate one. Investigators move quickly now. They pull internal records, access logs, search histories, communication trails, and that's where it shifts from bad to undeniable. Hargrove's credentials show activity late the night before the arrest. Repeated searches. Brooks, Elena, her district, her home address, cross-referenced multiple times. Not part of any assigned case file, not tied to an open investigation. Just him, alone in the system, preparing. When they confront him again, his tone changes, but not in the way they expect. "I was doing my job," he says, slower now, measured. One of the investigators leans forward. "Your job doesn't include pre-targeting a federal official without cause." Hargrove doesn't respond, because there's more. A forensic team recovers a deleted draft report from his system, something he never submitted. At first glance, it reads like a rough version of his official statement, but buried halfway through is a line he didn't erase completely. "High-profile arrest could secure advancement." No one in the room moves. That one sentence connects everything. The search history, the lack of warrant, the refusal to stop. And this wasn't confusion. This wasn't pressure in the moment. This was intent. Outside, the story reaches a boiling point. Lawmakers call for hearings. Protests grow louder. And inside the agency, the question is no longer what happened. It's how far Hargrove went to make it happen. And who, if anyone, let him.